Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien here on the morning of Thursday, February 7th, 2024, with a special message to Nikki Haley and her supporters who voted for her, and other people there that would want to vote for Nikki Haley. For Nikki Haley, dear Miss Haley or Governor Haley, this is your favorite alien here, giving you an open letter telling you that I like the way you dropped out of the race. And when they asked you if you would consider running as a third-party candidate, why did you shut the door like that? You know that your Republican Party is dead and gone, buried. Ronald Reagan's party, heck, it's not even Barry Goldwater's party anymore. It ceased to exist when Ronald Reagan came on board with his conservatism. Ronald Reagan did some good things and some bad things. The bad things was he made conservatism popular and made it what you got today under Donald J. Trump. That was inevitable. And I warned people like that back in 1980. I was an anti-Reagan. Oh, you bet you I was back then. Because I knew what his type of things was going to do to the party and the American system. It's come to fruition here 40 years later. There's nothing wrong with being a conservative or a liberal, okay? But I blame you for taking your conservatism way out of whack here. When you become a leader of something, and you were a leader of a state, South Carolina, but you still brought your conservative views into your way of governing. That's a no-no, Miss Haley. And that's why you only get 30% of the Republicans, because they're ultra-extremist rightists. 70% of them hate you for being a conservative. Just like back in Barry Goldwater's time, the Republicans were liberal, and 70% of them hated him for being conservative. And therefore, 60 years ago, he got slaughtered by Lyndon Baines Johnson. Look at that election 60 years ago, Miss Haley, and understand it, okay? The reason Ronald Reagan won in 1980 was Jimmy Who and the 20% interest rates. Oh boy, that was hurting the American public. And don't forget the dollar plus a gallon of gas. Yeah. Plus the Asians were eating you up alive in manufacturing. I mean, the cars were better on the Asian side, better than the European side, a lot better than the Americans. The Americans had gas guzzlers. Remember them? Oh boy. Yeah, 1980. Yeah. Just think of the Chevy Nova of 1977, okay? And the Ford Pinto. Don't forget about that. Yeah. See what I mean, Governor Haley? And it took people like Lee Iacocca over in Chrysler. Was he perfect? Hell no. He was way off from perfect. But he understood what the Americans needed, and he partnered with those Asians and brought them the K cars. Then Ford and GM partnered with different Asian companies, GM with Toyota, and GM got itself back on right. Ford did too. American Motors, well, they went the way of the dodo bird. Oh boy. And Chrysler, it's now an Italian concern, isn't it? It's not American anymore. See what I mean? The problem with conservatism and liberalism and all the other isms out there, Ms. Haley, is you can't 100% say, yes, I'm 100% conservative. Am I conservative? Or in certain views I am, in certain views I'm liberal, and in other views I'm totalitarian. But they're less than 1% of the viewpoints because you have to have a standard by which you live. And you don't have that either in planet Earth or in the United States. You do have two things that could be your standard. Your prime directive, the preamble to the Constitution, and your doctrine, which is the Constitution itself. You never bothered to look at either of those two. You always mention them, but you don't understand or let alone comprehend them, Governor Haley. But if you did, you could be a formidable third-party candidate. And the lights would shine on people because you have the charisma to get people on your side. Heck, you got 30% of the Republican Party on your side. So why not make that another 20% of the Democrats and at least 30% of the independents and then 20% of those never voters? And you could be a formidable candidate, but you don't understand that. You don't comprehend that. So therefore, you're going to be going into the history books as a footnote. I would advise you to rethink your opinion on the third-party candidate and your opinion on being conservative, and especially Republican, because that party doesn't exist anymore. And get the Americans right and the right track. Will you do that? Hell no. And if you did, I would drive you over to Hell, Michigan in the wintertime and said, okay, hell's froze over. What do you say? Do you change yourself? But it's going to be spring, so I can't do that. This is your favorite alien. Good day.